So I'm here with Nate Burleson. Everybody knows Nate Burleson. He is worldwide now. He's on Rachel Ray. He's on the NFL Network, Game Day. I mean, this guy's all over the place calling games. So you look at this receiver class in the NFL as a whole. A guy like Tyler Johnson goes in the 5th round.
Yeah.
What do you think about this class and how deep they were?
Yeah, it was very deep. And you would assume a guy like Tyler Johnson with his talent, he'd go earlier. And then if you look at his draft grade, his ability to make a big play, like you look at the guys before you, and then you have an understanding like, okay, I can see how I got overlooked and slipped a little bit. Like I went in the 3rd round, there was a good group of guys. And like we saw this year, man, you got to think about it, man. Like CeeDee Lamb going to the Cowboys, Henry Ruggs to the Raiders. Justin Jefferson. Like you have to think about like what he's going to bring to the table, especially with them missing Diggs. So it's tough when you see guys slide, but you also understand it when you see so many picked before him.
Yeah, and looking at the Vikings, so you talk about Justin Jefferson. Zimmer had holes. Diggs left. Offensive line has always been a question for the Vikings. Cornerback. I mean, I think every cornerback other than Mike Hughes left. All 3 cornerbacks left. In the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round, he filled holes right away. He got a cornerback in Dantzler and Gladney. He got Justin Jefferson at 22, which people thought he would be a top 15 guy. And then, of course, he goes and get Ezra Cleveland to play offensive tackle, or, who knows where they're going to put him.
Right.
What do you think about that Vikings class of those kind of early 4?
I always thought when it came to free agency and the draft, keep it simple, and let's not trick ourselves into doing something that isn't going to help the team. And think about how many picks they had. Like, it's not easy to go out there and execute it. But you said it. You see a hole, you fill that hole. You have a void in your team, you fill that void. Diggs goes, they get the draft pick, which for them, it started before the draft by trading Diggs and getting that pick. They go get Justin Jefferson, who had monster numbers, 100 catches, 1,500 plus yards, 18 TDs. Like, that's like, Madden numbers, you know what I'm saying? So that he's a guy that's used to getting targets. So with the way that Kirk Cousins can grip it and rip it, he's going to come in, he's going to be familiar with that type of workload. And you mentioned the cornerbacks, you have to fill these voids. And if you can do that with young guys who are going to be on that young rookie deal, then it's easier for you to build around. And like you mentioned, you got Ezra Cleveland, and I kind of joked about it on the show. We don't know exactly what they're going to do as far as piecing the puzzle together, but if it's going to be the Cleveland show, then the only way we can describe that line is that's nasty. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like Cleveland comes in with a great nickname, and they're going to have a great running game to match it.
So with all that said, with the Cleveland show, I forgot about that one. So with all that said, with the Cleveland show, you're going to sit these guys down and give them a grade. What would you grade them on their draft class?
I would say that they got an A. And I looked at a few different, publicity, publications that went out there, and there was an A-, A+, and an A. And I feel like they're right around there, man, with the amount of picks that they had. Literally addressing positions and not panicking and saying, oh, well, he's the best available, so I guess we got to get him because that's the pressure of the NFL during the draft. No, they were like, you know what, we're going to get guys that fit our squad. And if you look at where they're from, I feel like these guys have played some decent ball, some big-time ball. There isn't too many guys that came in, kind of like me, I guess, where it's like, you put up crazy numbers, but you hadn't have had a Reno. So, like, is that going to apply? There's always like a shake of the dice when you pick a guy from a school that doesn't really have the same level of competition as the players you have on your roster. And that's not the case. The Minnesota Vikings, they selected individuals that are going to come in right away and understand what their expectations are.
If you can go back in 2003, what advice would you give yourself knowing everything you know now?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I would first start with, remain humble. Humility in this business will go a long way. Once you stop running fast and jumping high and basically doing whatever you got to do for this organization to make money, you're going to have humility because that next chapter isn't going to be like the rock star lifestyle that you're living. And with that said, understand that it's an illusion. It's a small grain of salt in the lifespan that you're going to live. And it seems grand and it seems so exaggerated, but like, don't get fooled by everything. And, we like to keep it real. The money that's coming in crazy, take care of your money. Save more than you spend. Don't get lost in the sauce. Looking in the mirror and thinking that the world revolves around you. And I'm saying that because, I've lived this life. And also, when you're on the field, though, understand that you're meant to be there, like at every moment, because the NFL will build you up. They'll also knock you down. Let's parallel this to life. It will knock you down. Like you wake up, whether you're working at a cubicle downtown, you're a politician or a football player, like there's times where people will tell you how great you are. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then the moments where you really want people to show you your worth to the company, to the organization, to the team, that's when they start to tear you down. In those moments, like, don't waver, because I've had those moments, whether it was me bouncing back from one of my many injuries, whether it was tearing my ACL, breaking my arm, trying to save a pizza, or it was just me not having a good game and waking up and listening to everybody, reading the paper and having more confidence in what some random writer is saying about me than I have in myself. So just always know who you are, man. If you walk around like you're a lion in the jungle, then you'll always be able to conquer it. So those are just some tidbits of advice that I would give to young Nate and any young player that's about to start this journey.